The way you critique films is wrong. Now, if you're wondering why I've got a scarf over my face and why I have a Soviet hat and why I have my mummy's glasses on, I don't really know either. But I've decided to sit down here and start a YouTube channel talking about my opinion on media. So, I haven't got a script for this. I think I should have a script for something like this, but I don't. So you're gonna have to roll with me. Or you could click off. I'm not bothered at all. So, when you look at the world today, you look at what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on in Russia, Ukraine, what's going on in politics everywhere, and then you think like, whoa, this is all pretty shit. Like, I don't like living in this world because it's just sometimes really miserable, which I think we can all agree that it is. And media, like films or comics or whatever you're into, in my opinion, unless the art is a mockery or a play into real world events, if you're talking about something like Marvel, Star Wars, sci-fi, this stuff should be escapism from this world into something that isn't the real world. It isn't for everyone, which, if it's not, then that's you. If we were all the same, the world would be quite boring. But what happens with media, or what happens with this kind of, what happens with media these days, is that we view them through the lens of our personal gripe. Instead, I don't think gripe's a word, but just pretend it's a word for me. We view it as something very, very specific, and something that every single person has this little echo chamber where they'll vent out. They have this belief, whether it's politics, race, culture, whatever. Everyone has their set of beliefs, but then what happens is that you'll have people that will critique art through their set beliefs instead of critiquing it for what it is, and what it is art. Now, of course, like I said earlier, if this art is taking on an actual, like, if this is a film going around the patriarch, or if this is a film talking about how everything's becoming woke these days, then obviously that invites it. But if you're talking about something like Star Wars, which, while it does have its political, like, inspiration, it is based on real world events. Over Star Wars, for the most part, if you're talking about the 9 films, is escapism. A lot of it is quite dreadful escapism, but what it is escapism where we can watch it for what it is instead of what we view it as, if that makes sense, which it probably doesn't, so just let me try explain a bit more. When people watch something like The Last Jedi, in the back of their mind, a lot of the people that watch this film, you can watch the critiques of the film, most of it isn't even about the actual film. And you see this for the newer Marvel stuff coming out, you see this for Wonder Woman, you see this for anything. Where the majority of the critique for these pieces of art isn't on the art itself, but it's on people trying to push a political agenda, which I believe isn't how you should view films from, because, or at least if you're talking about films in these contexts, viewing them, if you view films the way you view the real world, you're never going to enjoy films the way they should be enjoyed. Like, me and someone who has opposite politics to me should be able to sit down and watch a film and see the exact same film, because it's art. It's not like, Ozzy, the human mind's crazy. Like, that bitch will be changing everything about this film if you find a pet peeve about it. Which, like, of course, that's just what happens with films, what happens with people, but I believe that art shouldn't be viewed through a political lens, or at least films that don't invite it. Well, I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I don't have a script here, so I'm just putting out my frustrations about some stuff. If you look at people like the Critical Drinker, I can't really think of any left-wing grifters, that sprout to mind, but if you're talking about these specific people, they'll be reviewing, like, The Batman. Like, I think it was an excellent film, and even he will be reviewing it like, oh, this film is really good, but it's crazy how there's so much all the white, straight men are all the villains. It's like, this film does not invite this culture war. It doesn't invite anything. It's a thriller about Batman, and this guy's trying to influence you into viewing it through a political lens, and it's a political lens the film doesn't want you to view it from. Now, what's dangerous about this is that this is what the mainstream's pushing out to you. It's pushing out that you must review these films how the person with loads and loads of subscribers, or how the news is pushing it, where it's like, instead of critiquing The Rise of Skywalker for having a poor script, or instead of critiquing it for having poorly written characters, you're trying to say, oh, you're trying to say the liberals are trying to get their hands on it, they're trying to do whatever to my precious Star Wars. Which I don't think you shouldn't talk about the politics around how films are made. I don't think you should do that, but in my opinion, it should be a separate discussion. I think we should be able to talk about a film, talk about how it's made, talk about if it's even a good film in the first place, and then after we can say, well, how much political influence is going into films. But it should be separate from reviewing the art itself. And that's how I try to view all types of art. If you're talking about music, if you're talking about movies, if you're talking about anything, you should be viewing this stuff as it is, not how you think it should be. Now, that's just my first video here. It's the summer, school's off, I haven't got anything to do, so I'm just going to start a YouTube channel and just see where it goes. If you are watching this, and if you haven't noticed, I'm recording this on my phone in my room. I have a statue of Mary behind me. I have no idea what I'm doing here. And if that interests you, then make sure to like, subscribe, whatever, and I don't know, follow me along with it. I feel like this stuff's going to be far more like a podcast than anything. Like, I've got my face covered up. I don't I'm not really going to be showing much stuff about my personal life, because I'm trying to strictly critique films here. I'm called The Cringe Review. So if you find it cringe, that's the name of the game. So again, if you liked this video, if you like listening to me ramble, I'm going to talk about film. I'm going to talk about a series of films soon, probably Star Wars, because I'm binging that. So if you're interested in that, if you'd want to hear this guy's opinion on Star Wars, then, subscribe. During the summer, you'll probably see some of my videos. So, thank you and goodbye.